into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Well, good afternoon, all of you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Dishin' Days, where we give you a full recap of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives. I am your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host. To my far, 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 far left, we have the future Mr. Billy Flynn Love Freeman J.
We sing it all backwards?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what comes after the J then?
Period.
The Mark J. Freeman right at ya. Flynn. Flynn.
Yeah,
right.
Flynn, yes.
And we also...
sorry, go ahead.
Can I have an introduction?
You tried it? Da-da-da-da, my chocolate twin.
Junior.
The super organizer professional himself.
That's right, kids.
And of course...
And I'm still a mess.
Of course. Mark, tell the people what you have going on in the chat room right now.
Oh, what I just tweeted?
Yeah.
Oh, I just tweeted you guys a new poll, because now that Twitter lets you do polls, I'm kind of obsessed.
Me too. I'm totally obsessed also.
So I did a poll the other day of what my super couple name would be with Billy.
Keep getting out.
And it was between Millie and Bark, which Millie clearly won.
Yeah.
But then we were discussing at Day of Days that we thought of a new one on the way there, which instead of Millie, Marley. So I did a new one, just tweeted it out, whether it should be Millie or Marley.
Well, my vote's for Marley.
Me too.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Well, let's see what wins.
Okay.
So you can go to my Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE which eventually may get changed to LORAYNE
Completely tried it. So, speaking of Day of Days, later on in the show, we are going to tell you guys about our fun, fantastic time at Day of Days. And during this show, we will have a special guest caller. In the chat room, if you are chatting with us live and watching us live, why don't you take a guess at who our special guest caller just might be? We want to hear.
It's not Billy Flynn.
Oh, trust me, if it was Billy Flynn, he would know.
Yes, exactly.
He would know. All right, and make sure you guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Dishin' Days. That's DISHIN Days.
That's right.
On Facebook
Are you
and Instagram.
mocking me?
No, because I say dishing, so some people may think there's a G, and it's
okay.
not. There's no G.
Okay, I thought you were mocking me.
Listen, if I were mocking you, I would have 10 foot of hair just plastered on top of my head. That's mocking you.
You know, when you get to be my age and you have this much hair,
You'd be grateful.
You are
very grateful.
You tease it up and show the world.
That's right.
Plain and simple.
Or I will wear a shirt that says Mrs. Billy Flynn.
I'm down with either.
Ooh, a fan of this
Although
video,
my
so.
husband may not like the shirt idea, so I'll just keep to teasing the hair.
Okay. Already we have 105 people watching us.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
How many?
105.
Wow.
Yeah, so we won't hold this up.
Yeah.
It says 104. Mine is always different from you guys.
Well, because you're always late. It's now time to start Dishin' Days.
All right, let's get dishing.
Set it and forget it.
That's right.
Alrighty. So
Our first storyline would be...
Well, it's me. It's all about me.
It's all about you.
No, it's my girl Hope. This traumatic storyline, Aiden, Bo, Sean Douglas, Sierra Chase, that storyline. So the aftermath of the attack, the wedding, the attack, and Bo rushing in. God, it was such a dramatic fight stuff last week, and this week was even more dramatic.
Yes.
With Bo and Aiden.
I have to say this before we even get into the storylines, just as a general note.
Yes.
I was telling him a lot of times when I'm getting ready on Sundays, I'll turn on an old episode just to kind of refresh my memory of what happened earlier in the week, because I kind of stopped taking notes. So I turned on Monday's episode and I was working on stuff and I thought, and I was listening to it and I heard Hope screaming and all this stuff and I looked at the TV and it was the struggling and Aiden getting killed and stuff and I went, that was Monday? It felt like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, so wait a minute. So that happened. Oh my, they are moving fast.
This week it moved fast. So this week it was just like boom, 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 boom. It was fast. And this storyline completely, I agree with you. It was just like, didn't she just get married like 2 weeks ago? Like, no, she got married. Yeah. It was just on Friday. No, It was like, this is on Friday.
Yeah.
But it was very, they had Bo and Daniel Cosgrove and Peter Ricker and their stunt doubles, I'm sure. I don't think
it didn't look like they had stunt doubles.
But it didn't look like Rob Wilson and Billy had stunt doubles. I know that they did, but watching it, I was like, I didn't see a place where they would have used them. But
same here. Yeah. That's what I'm saying out loud. I don't know, do they or not? Because it looked so real, and I know it's kind of dark, but they were that whole room got trashed.
Yeah.
I said, time to remodel.
Yep. Well, at this time, you guys, we have our special guest caller on the line. Hello, special guest caller. You are on live with us on AfterBuzz TV's Edition Days. Let everyone know who you are.
Hello, my name is Daniel. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, hi. My name is Daniel Cosgrove. I formerly known as Aiden Jennings on Days of Our Lives.
Yay!
Welcome to AfterBuzz,
Daniel.
Hey, thanks for having me. I actually wish I was there. I'm a little nervous.
We wish you were here too.
We wish you were here too, and there's no reason to be nervous because now we can't bite you.
Well, translation, now Mark can't bite it.
Why am I always getting blamed for this stuff?
Because as Paul labeled you, you are kind of handsy.
I am not handsy, Daniel. Do not let that stop you from coming to the studios.
So, Daniel, we were...
Oh, well, okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
Daniel, we were just talking about your fight with Bo or Peter Ruckel.
He's a tough son of a gun.
He wouldn't stay down. He just wouldn't stay down.
I didn't expect that tornado to come through the door.
although I have to say, you didn't stay down either.
No.
So in your defense.
There was a really well choreographed fight scene. I think they did a really fantastic job with that, as they always do with the fight scenes. Peter was there to. Peter is the consummate professional, so he was ready to go, and he was very involved in that choreography, and I think he was going to make sure that it was going to be a good one. So, and it was. So, yeah, I was happy with it.
I think my favorite part was when you were trying to go get the gun, and I think with one hand you threw the chair across the room. I was like, that was one light chair. He just tossed that chair out the way.
That chair? Hold on a second, because what was it? What about it? Like, did it look ridiculous, or?
To me, I was just like, that was either you're really, really strong, or it was a really.
That was a real chair.
Then you fooled me, because
that's a live action chair.
Oh wow! Well, it looked good then.
When you have Bo Brittany chasing you, you got adrenaline racing.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I was surprised that I throw him around, but it was all good.
Well, I'm guessing that you had a chance to learn from your fight with Clyde, so you were ready. After that fight, it was no holds barred.
Hey, that was another, I think, great with James Reed, who's fantastic. Yes. That was actually another just a really well done fight, and geez, James is excellent in everything he does.
Yeah.
And but I thought Aiden did all right. He was standing until he let it. He got a little cocky.
Yeah.
Let up. Clyde kicked him out and then took the vase to his head. But up until then, I was doing. I after the sucker punch, I did all right.
Yeah. Well, fans.
I guess.
Fans have definitely been ranting and raving about your character, especially the last few months, because I think everyone was definitely on board with Team Hayden, and then all of a sudden you get that Demera call and we're like, oh no, Aiden is now cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs just like a lot of other people. So,
yeah. Oh man.
how did you feel about that transition of your character? Because we thought that you were crazy a long time ago with
Meredith.
with Meredith and that storyline with Aiden's wife, and then we were like, okay, he's actually a good guy, and then all of a sudden they switched. So how was it for you finding out that Aiden really is, going through a lot and is crazy a little bit?
Yeah, totally crazy. There was always a little mystery around the character about what his past was, and say for the first, I think, year and a half when I came on the show, I think they really weren't certain, and they had some ideas of what they wanted to do, but I think they were kind of waiting to see about some things, how things were going to all happen, and so when we did that cabin stuff, which era, and they really, walked the line. Is he guilty? Is he not? Is it misunderstanding? So it was like, there was some stuff that I was concerned about, because I was like, if he did it or if he didn't do it, doesn't matter, because he's acting so crazy. I don't think Hope would want to be with him anyway. So, there was some stuff that was like, oh boy. Yeah. But I think there was always going to be that, they were going to take that character down a dark road one way or another. And it was just, when everything aligned and the timing was right, they said, okay, we're going to take him down this path.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was expecting it, but man, I'll tell you, by the time I think he's planning, he's murdering the woman he loves, quote unquote loves.
Right.
But how do you murder someone? So I get, after the fact I could say it, but when you play the character, you're thinking, all right, I love Hope, I love this, I'm doing it for the right reasons. But when you're looking at it from now, watching it, you're like, wow, this is a very weak character. Not the character. Yeah. Aiden Jennings is very weak, and he's very pathetic. I mean, look what he, so he just sank further and further, and there's just no justifying it. He became a murderer.
Well, there were definitely moments where we saw that, like, he didn't really want to go through the plan, and that he actually really did love Hope, but at the same time,
absolutely,
he was in debt, which we thought he wasn't that much in debt, but apparently Aiden was in like a whole lot of debt.
Yeah.
I was never really clear on how much debt he was, but he's in a whole lot of debt. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of how, when you're going through it, to approach it is, he's madly in love with this woman. He's madly in love with his son. He just does everything for him. It reaches a point where it's either this woman who he loves, or his son, and that was whether we were able to see it all unfold. And you don't really have an opportunity to really show a lot, because there's so many stories going on, so many things are moving quickly. So there's you kind of have to speed it along. But yeah, that's what it came down to. He's doing it to protect his son. Yeah. And he feels, I don't know, but it's like half the time he couldn't even look her in the eye.
Yeah.
And he's haunted. He can't stop thinking about, like, oh my God. And it's like making him nauseous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daniel, I've been a big fan of yours for years on all the different soaps you've been on. And so I know you can act. So I was so happy you came to Days of Our Lives. One of my favorite scenes of all time was, unfortunately, when you were trying to kill my girl. One of my favorite scenes is when she ripped off your mask in the middle of the fight, and your facial expression was just like, it was so complex.
Yeah.
And the way she kind of grunted. I mean, you both did such wonderful work in that moment in that scene. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Oh my God! Well, thank you for saying that. That's awesome. I am curious, and I don't know, but are you happy that it happened the way it did and unfolded, and that during the struggle she was able to rip it off and see who she was dealing? I mean,
it was unexpected. Like I think for weeks we've been seeing how it was going to play out. So we just assumed that, okay, this is how it's going to play out. And then when it was actually happening, we didn't think like, oh, not everything goes according to plan, and there's scissors, and your face mask is ripped off. So I think for me, I was shocked.
I was shocked.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
And I'm sorry. And the reason I ask is because there was a version of I was going to be masked for 2 days, and then like in one quick scene, they would have taken off the mask after the fact, like Bo would have done it or somebody, and we had to talk about that. To be quite honest, I was like, if I'm going, if we're going to end it like this, I want her to know who's doing it to her.
Yes.
And I want her, because there is no dialogue.
Yeah.
And with that mask, you can't see my eyes. I mean, even when I don't have a mask, it's hard to see my eyes under my brow. I really wanted, I was really conscious of that, of those moments, of that struggle, and you could hear the breathing, the struggle, and it's terrible. It's just it's awful.
Yeah.
But that quick moment when she's fighting like the tough superwoman she is, and she rips it off, and she's just horrified.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's like it. Literally, the mask is unveiled.
Right.
Yeah. I'm exposed, and then you see it's like, oh my God, the horror of not just the horror that she knows who it is, but the horror of how this is what it's come to.
Right. Yeah.
And in that quick moment, it's just so many things are going through. It's like, holy, I even pause at the dress when the blood gets on it, and I'm like, I look at it like there's blood on my hands, literally there's blood on her way, and I don't want this to happen, but it's I just felt like it was an awful moment, and Christian nailed it.
Yes,
she did.
Just that bellow or whatever it was that she said.
I said I couldn't tell it was just something. Yeah, I was like, it was a guttural thing. It was just like,
and so and I'm glad you caught that, because that scene right there, to me, that wasn't, none of that was going to happen until I was like dead. It was going to happen, and like, why did? But I was happy that we were able to change it, and so she knew
that's awesome
who was taking her out right then and there.
It took it out of being really cliche. It took it out of being a cliche thing.
Totally.
By finding out in the middle of her struggling, her new husband is trying to kill her.
Yeah.
I mean, so the emotions that she has to, she's fighting for her life. She just married me. She thinks she's like, she's been in denial. I mean, this woman has like given me money without questions asked. Why she's doing, I mean, her mind is in such a crazy place anyway.
Yes.
And now here she is fighting for her life with this psycho.
Yeah.
But
after you made love,
like,
by the way.
What's that?
After you guys had made love, I just want to point that you made love, and then you went to kill him.
Okay, that was crazy. I was surprised that was there.
Yeah.
Honestly,
one last time.
If there's one time that Aiden just cannot get it on, it's like, hey baby, I'm sorry.
Well, here's
gotta get that surprise out. Like, I just wish it was something like that,
Yeah.
Because there was that moment when it was like, we're doing it, and all of a sudden I'm thinking about killing her.
Yeah,
right.
Man,
I thought that too. I was like, really? That's what you're thinking about?
No, I wasn't. I was not thinking about that. I was like, come on, man.
So here's my question: what if she's pregnant now with your kid?
Ooh, what do you think?
Lord.
Just putting that out there.
Man.
Just putting that out there. Take this to a whole nother level.
God.
Mark is our little rewriter here.
I didn't think about that part.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
You never know. Never know.
That would be something.
Jason might need a sibling.
Well, Chase needs,
since he doesn't have parents.
Chase needs somebody, because Sierra is not having him right now at all.
Oh gosh.
So I just have to ask, because I'm such the fans. Everybody know I'm such a huge Kristen Alfonso fan. Just tell me something that was really wonderful about working with her.
She is like another like consummate professional. You know what I mean? She and she exudes positivity. Like when you're working with her, you know, it's all like there's no need to worry because it's all good. You know, she's such a positive person, so it's contagious, and it's just and welcoming and just open in the way of like, okay, you know, some ideas or concerns or whatever. And so I have the utmost confidence in working with her. Not to mention we share a love of chocolate.
Oh, really?
Fond of that. But yeah, she's you know, fantastic. Everybody over there, I got to tell you, everybody over there it was a fantastic place to work, from the people up in the production offices to the camera people, sound people, and props. You know, it was just such a pleasure to work with everyone and see everyone, and then know that you just might actually get a paycheck too. It's almost like you're spoiled. So it was great.
Good.
Mark?
Oh, I thought you were saying. I just wanted to tell you too, Daniel. Yesterday we were at the Day of Days at Universal, and we all got to do some interviewing of everybody. And one of the questions I was asking a lot of the people that I got a chance to talk to was if there was, because so many people have left the show recently in the last couple of months. I was asking them if there was one of them that they could bring back. I just want you to know that Mary Beth Evans, she didn't even hesitate, and she threw your name out there, and she said, in a heartbeat, Daniel. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think everyone was kind of shocked, and I know I was upset because I was liking good Daniel.
Me too.
So I was a little upset when they made you bad again.
Yeah.
Well, it's always fun to play nasty. It's much better.
Right.
Not being, I've been on enough shows that when you're good, it gets stale and it gets boring. So you want to play a little, it's nice to play bad. But a big thank you to Mary Beth Evans and, my gosh, her and Steven.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy good Lord. Does it get any better than that? They're fantastic.
Right.
And,
you got the Johnson stamp of approval.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, and because I'm not on Twitter. I joined Twitter when I joined Dave, and I tweeted for there too, and so I'm not really hooked up into the social media. But can I just clarify one thing? Because a lot of people were saying that I was saying some negative stuff about when I left the show. Yeah, and there was one thing that was attached to my which I said in a bigger context, which was kind of being I speak in a lot of analogies, and I said what you can expect are some people get to ride the bus, some people will be missing the bus, and some people will end up under the bus. And then all of a sudden it was like I had a text saying, "Why are you saying you got thrown on?" I was like, "Wow." Just trying to be funny. Right. So I just wanted to, because I people are like, "Well, what did you say?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What did I say?" I'm like, in my own little bubble. I have no idea. Because I haven't had an opportunity to say that, and I just want to.
We're glad we gave you a chance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
thanks.
Well, Daniel, next time you are in LA, let us know. Yeah. We'll love to have you here in the studio and get more in depth about you and your time on Days and all of that.
Sure.
I know we have to let you go, but before we let you go, is there anything else coming up for you that the fans can look forward to? Because someone in our chat room was asking, where can we find them at next? And I was like, oh no, I'll ask them.
Nothing right now. But when it does, maybe I'll get onto Twitter one of these days and start doing that. I don't know. Yeah. But nothing right now.
Well, maybe not right now, but looking at your long IMDb page, I'm pretty sure something is just around the river band. That was a Pocahontas reference.
It was kind of very Disney.
Yeah, what is that song from?
Yeah, Pocahontas.
From Pocahontas.
Well, I'll say it's some Clear Revival kind of song too. I'm like, hello.
Yeah, well, no, it's more so Pocahontas. I'm just going to go with that. All right. Well, Daniel, thank you so much
y'all.
for calling in, and hopefully we'll see you very soon.
Oh, great. I hope so. And thanks again, and good luck with everything to all of you.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yay, special guest caller. That was so interesting what he said about it not being a reveal at first.
That's great.
Because
that kind of stuff I love when we get that kind of stuff.
But you know, I feel like if they did not have that moment, it wouldn't have been because it was such a gut-wrenching moment.
It really was.
And
I think everything with this and with what's coming up, and we have stuff we haven't even talked about yet, is just adding another layer of this for them as actors, for Christian Alfonso. It's like, here's your Christmas present.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with her being pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna keep putting it out there.
I'm going to. They've said in the chat room too, and it's not impossible. Some folks can have later in life babies.
Oh, is that what they're talking about? Because she's
someone was like, Hope is like 50 years old. Ain't no way in the world she can have a baby.
Well, how old is Christian?
Because James was trying to tap dance around that comment. He saw that same comment.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, that they've done it before, yes. And she comes from a mother. Her Addie was late in life and had hope. So I mean, I guess it could happen.
She hasn't had a menopause storyline.
This is true.
That is true. She has.
And we don't. Is Hope necessarily the same age as Kirsten Alfonso? Christian Alfonso?
What name did you say?
I don't know.
Say Kirsten. You say Kirsten.
I'm just, my head is spinning.
Who knows? Who knows? I don't think the characters of Days know their real character Days ages.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think she was born in 1974.
Really doesn't
on the
matter.
show.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And that would be younger than me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's all about.
Well, I don't know what that's about either. But I will say, I will say this. I love that this week, Hope is going through so much this week.
I agree.
And even still, she still has the heart of gold. And she looks at Chase and she's just like, we're going to take you in. Yeah. Like, it was no hesitation. It wasn't like your father's crazy and you're probably crazy too. Get out of my house. It's still this compassion.
Sierra said that.
Oh, see. Sierra
I can't deal with him right now because his father tried to kill you. But.
Yeah, and but I love their dynamic together. I love Chase and Sierra as like they're not real siblings. They're obviously now sort of kind of step siblings, but just the dynamic they had from when they were little and they still kind of carried it up to when they were older. Like I still loved seeing that dynamic, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not no Sierra.
Yeah.
Like, but
I liked, what I did like though is I liked like when she was leaving the room and then she stopped and she came back and she's like, don't act like, you know what I mean? Like she yelled at him like, don't put words in my mouth again. Yeah, I kind of like that because it kind of shows that she still cares about him.
And I also like that they really do have this really close relationship because she was like, there's this place that he goes to when he gets angry.
Yeah. And it's my bedroom. Kidding.
Isn't Billy Flynn already there? But yeah, and I like that. But I don't know, there was a moment where when Chase did leave and they sent Bo after him.
I thought they were going to send her. I thought she was going to go after him.
I thought she would have been better to send.
My choice would have been, okay, here's my choice. I thought Bo was the wrong person to go.
Yeah.
I was glad to see Jen on many times this week.
Yeah.
And I thought she was like, come stay with us and all, they need to stay there. But I thought Jen should have went after him.
Jen?
Really?
I think so. I think Jen, because Jen, they were for a while
neutral.
Yes, and they're trying to position Jen as kind of like the heir of the Horton goodness, fortunately, kind of like
the Alice Horton.
Yeah, exactly. She's living there, so I thought she's also close to Hope and everybody. I thought, why don't you send her to talk to him and just kind of go and just because she's not neutral, not really part of that infrastructure of the family.
Yeah,
Bo is like she was the wrong person. Sierra was too upsetting.
I don't like Bo.
Yeah,
and Hope was going through it this week.
I just thought it would give the kids a moment to have like a moment.
Yeah. So just be like, listen,
another better word.
But I've had teenagers and have teenagers in my life now. I can see why Sierra's acting the way she's acting.
You're referring to me?
Yes, because you're a teenager. Well, cheese and crackers on that one.
Not the cheese and crackers.
I can't cuss right now.
Cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers. I can't cuss right now, so that's the closest I can get. But I felt actually, teachers have little falling outs for weird things. I mean, this is a major thing, obviously. So I can see her not being ready to kind of, but being conflicted a little bit. She couldn't be the one to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird. I mean, his father tried to kill her mother.
Yeah.
This is kind of a weird thing. But or Sean Douglas. Sean Douglas should have been. I mean, like
Sean Douglas wasn't even around.
He kind of came in and out. He was with Bo. His scenes were with Bo though. His scenes were this week were mostly with Bo.
We did talk about this on the way over here.
Yes.
We were told by somebody, and I remember who it was that was here, that there's going to be a lot of stuff off camera.
Yeah, they did say
that
that.
gets that get. So I think for those people that were making comments about why wasn't Sean Douglas there, why anything. When he finally did come into the scene, it was implied that there was a moment where he was with her because he knew what was going on. It wasn't like new information to her. So I think it was something that just, again, because they're going to move these stories along so quickly, that it just was something that happened off camera.
Yeah. And he was more in the Bo part, actually.
Right. He was there with the
two guys.
Yeah,
it was more of
you
that
could say the same thing. Why wasn't Sierra there?
Right. And it was more of that. So
I just feel for Hope right now because I feel like and this whole guilt thing, like everyone's blaming themselves. Like Hope is like how didn't I see this? Kayla, Jennifer is like, well, I was there at your wedding. How could I not see that he was crazy? And I'm like, but you were in love, Hope.
Yeah.
Like you were, and she did it right.
She did.
She was just
took her time.
She took her time with and I don't know. That's what's kind of frustrating is that she did everything right.
She did.
And then all of a sudden, it just went.
Well, I think it adds a whole nother layer to the whole thing.
I agree.
It's funny because I had written down to say this, and the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, I'm kind of okay with how things ended up. I was going to say the only problem or thing that I had an issue with is that because Aiden got killed, there was never a moment for him to explain himself.
Yeah.
But I guess then that takes it down a whole nother place that, they don't really want to go because he's off the show now. And maybe that's something if down the road somebody else decides to bring it back. I know Ken Corday said it's not ever going to happen, but I was kind of upset because I was like, because I in my core, he was a good person that was put in an unfortunate and extraordinary circumstance by a demented family called the Demiras.
Yeah, but I really want.
I do hope though that somebody figures it out.
Yeah.
For Hope's sake, you weren't cray-cray, girl.
Right.
This is what was happening.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
And to piggyback off of that, I want an explanation as to the full plan of what was supposed to happen with Aiden falling in love with Hope and making sure that Bo was,
I thought you were going to say, I want to know the full amount of money that Daniel owed.
You mean Aiden?
Or Aiden, sorry. What did I say?
Daniel.
Oh, yeah. Daniel, that's great. I keep getting mixed up.
I mean, I do too. I would really like to see that bill.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is when they showed Stefano and Andre for that, people for that part of the story, they're just like, oh, and Hope will be dead tomorrow.
As they were playing chess? They always play. You know what? If anytime you see a Demira playing chess, something's going down.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But again, it just their motivation for having her. I mean, like Hope and Stefano have a long history. Like I don't understand this. I didn't get that whole thing anyway. I think that's probably just incidentals. Like it was the whole thing was Aiden was to go crazy because he had some debt and had to kill Hope.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Thank God.
But here's what I would have been upset about because her life insurance policy was like $5 million.
Yeah.
If he only needed like 300,000 of that $5 million, I'm like, really? You had to kill her off? Like, what are you gonna do with the rest?
Yeah.
You just gonna ride into the sunset?
Technically, if it was 300,000, he paid 200,000 of it off because the Demiras paid 100. She gave him a check for 100. He only owed another 100. I mean, come on. There's got to be a way to go get a job at a bank and walk out with a duffel bag. Oh.
You are something else. So
there was other.
Yeah, so this storyline really went the whole week, and the other end of the spectrum was Bo, and people being reunited with him. So you saw Victor, and you saw people, and Kayla was upset. I should have known. I did all that. But the most important part, and we talked about this in the car briefly, how fast the writing is. Aiden dies Monday. Now we find out Bo is dying on Friday.
Right.
Within a week. That's a lot.
It's too much.
You think so?
Well, here's the thing. Because this is no.
But how many times do we complain about not having anything to talk about?
Well, we have plenty, but that's not what upsets me. This is what upsets me is that.
Do it.
This might be my little rant.
It's rant. Hit rant. Go.
Okay. So
should I Periscope it?
No. So we had this moment of Bo abandoning Hope, her going through all that, going through the divorce and everything like that, and we're being okay, like we're not going to see Bo, whatever. Then in comes Aiden, and they're bickering, and they're doing all this stuff, and they're resisting each other, and then all of a sudden they do a slow dance, and the one eyebrow comes up from Hope, and all of a sudden we're realizing that they're falling in love, and although we're like, no, Hope's supposed to be with Bo, but I'm liking this whole Aiden Hope thing. Then all of a sudden it was like, well, you know, he possibly killed his wife. And we're like, oh my God, Hope, get out of it. Like, you're a detective. You should figure it out, whatever. Get out of the relationship. Oh, it turns out Chase did it. Okay. And now they're so in love.
They always were in love.
No.
It was just a bump in the road.
Let me keep going.
Okay.
So we're so in love and we're loving it. Oh my God, we're going to get married. And now all of a sudden Aiden has debt. Okay, well, Hope writes a check and we're good. But actually there's even more debt. And now Aiden is bad. And now Aiden's working for the Demaras. Now Aiden's trying to kill Hope. And then now all of a sudden Bo is back in the picture. Now all of a sudden Bo comes in right at the nick of time and saves Hope. And oh my God, now the fans get what they want. Bo and Hope are back together. And now we're gonna kill Bo. I can't. You went through all of that to then put the couple back together to then say, "Oh, you about to die, girl."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Well, here, in defense of that, not that I know...
There is no defense. Aiden Jennings is dead, so you can't defend that.
But I think that there is a little bit of an explanation in that.
No.
Because from what we've heard is Peter Ruckel's...
Someone said, take a breath, Tony.
Sarah Miller.
Yeah, Sarah. Peter Ruckel's, I think one of the stipulations was that he would only come back for a limited time. So if he's only going to come back for a limited time, there has to be a justification for him to leave her again. And I think that maybe the only thought is, well, then we have to kill him. Because why else would he do this to her again? And would she ever take him back if that were a situation? So I'm going to let that go.
No.
Because...
What's his name? What's the other Bo? Robert
Kelly.
He's retired. He's retired.
We'll come out of retirement, girl. Like we.
No, Tony.
I wouldn't mind that.
No, Tony brings up a really good point because he's another Bo who was great and the fans love him. He also played Stavros Castle on GH and he came out for a brief week to finish up a storyline on General Hospital because he's retired. And he said he did it for a week and then he left. So they can't bring him on. He can't come for another week on Days of Our Lives and leave.
Well, listen.
He's no life, apparently.
If Peter Raquel could... listen, Bo is supposed to live on forever. If Peter Raquel only wanted to come on for a brief second, then there are 100,000 people in LA that want to be actors that I'm pretty sure could have picked up that Bo role.
Peter Raquel said that if they didn't kill Bo, he was not coming back.
Oh.
How about those bananas?
Okay.
I don't know how Ethel McGilwain knows.
Is that true?
Is that true?
So true, Mark. Oh, that's me. No. Robert Coker Kelly. Who is it? Daquan? No.
No, okay, it's Joanne Marie. I'll tell you. No, because he does give interviews, and I see him. I haven't read all of his interviews, but he does give interviews. So maybe he did say that.
How dare you, Peter Raquel?
Come on, Peter Raquel.
How dare you?
Well, maybe he didn't want to be tied to it anymore. Maybe he was done. He's like, I'm not going to keep coming back. I'm not going to keep doing stuff. So here's what I'll give you this. If you kill off my character, I'll come back. So that's what I'm saying. I am right.
Well, how about this?
I love it.
Everybody part of the ISA. Well, bye, Bo. Go back to another ISA.
Well, here's another thing too. Here's another thing too. That could have all happened off camera.
Right.
Like Rafe could have saved her.
Right.
From Aiden and left Bo out of the whole thing.
And then they would have.
And you would have saved a lot of money.
That and then you also.
I'm trimming the fat and saving money.
They also would have been able to do what they wanted to do, which was pair Hope and Rafe together.
Yeah.
Interesting. We wrote a new show.
I mean, I know. We'll see what happens with Hope and Rafe.
That just saddens me. Because let me tell you, if I was on the show as
hashtag by Peter.
Son,
by Peter.
If I was on there, I wouldn't demand that my character be killed off.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird.
Well, maybe after 30-some years of being on the show, you might.
I don't know. I don't think that's job security if you think about it.
I know.
Yeah, but some people are they want to move on.
Okay, that's fine. But you have to think about that moment where you're like, oh man, I wish
you're a Capricorn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But see, you have to think about that moment where you're like,
tell a Sagittarius not to move on.
Where you're like, you have that moment where you're like, ooh, I need a job. Days? Yeah. I'll come back for a little bit. Okay, great. Monday? See you then. You know what I mean? Like, you have that option.
Well, some people don't want that option.
It's kind of weird, but some people do. I mean, some people like that option.
Then stay home. Then stay home.
Because they get because some actors on some shows they do that. They come back for a show here and there, and your fans don't like them coming in and out. But for them, you're right. They come back, do a couple of weeks, get paid. The business.
Moving on.
Right before we move on, I'm just going to throw this out there because I swore we had to discuss this regarding Bo and Hope. Is their street address?
What is it, Mark?
Scuttle Hole Road.
I feel like I didn't know that. How did I know that?
Was I the only one that like paused and was like, really?
Yeah,
Scuttle Hole Road.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Someone quickly needed to have an address, and they said Scuttle Hole, and as a joke, probably. Maybe. And they said, done.
Like it's usually like Meadow Way.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean? Like it's all, and I was like, Scuttle, really? That was the best we could come up anyway. So moving on.
One brief thing that I was going to bring up anyway, but I thought it was a scene that I noticed.
Oh, that's right.
I think we noticed the same thing. I can't wait.
Okay, and it was really.
I don't think it is.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what it is. We'll then see if he got.
But I think it is.
I don't think it is.
I'm like with my kids. My daughters. Shout out to them.
Daddy, tell them it's not.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they would say too. Tammy and Monica.
I'm Tammy.
There's a lot of James Bond Jr. There is a lot of eye roll and cheese and crackers coming over from here.
Oh my god! And they know. So here goes. Okay, so there's a really quick scene when Kayla was talking to Hope in the hospital when she was in the bed, and she looked at her. No, it was Julie. It was Julie and her, and she looked at the ring she had, and she took it off and tossed it.
Oh, that's the moment?
That's what it was not spoken. It was just she was like, oh, and then it just tossed.
Yeah.
I love when I'm right.
On the bed. And it was kind of weird. It was like, I kind of chuckled. It was like almost like Bo's, I'm going home. It reminded me of that. Like, she was like,
you know what I thought you were going to mention?
Which one? Now see if I noticed.
So it wasn't the same thing?
It wasn't the same thing.
So who was right?
Well, fine, Mark. You were right.
You're right. But now I want to know what you're thinking. What something you were thinking
Did anybody else notice that during the fight with Bo and Aiden, that there was a quick scene where it looked like Hope was not laying there anymore?
Oh, that I didn't notice.
Oh, yeah. Now let's go back and look at it. I
still have Monday saved. So
because there was a moment, they're fighting all over the house, right? And
she's probably in the Commons.
Right. But I looked at the spot where...
Let's break Hope, and you guys just keep fighting.
But there was a moment where I looked, and I was like, Hope is... But she doesn't look like she's laying there.
Oh.
Hashtag equity rules.
but I just wondered if they were just like, okay, we have to film the fight, and someone didn't think Hope is supposed to be laying there, y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. We'll
go back and we'll
have to look at that.
We'll follow up with you guys next week.
Yes.
All right.
So the other murders going on in town with Ben and kidnapping Abigail, and so with that Aiden is now being seen as the necktie killer, which we all know he isn't.
Right.
They free Chad.
Yes. Which I'm sure you were rejoicing about.
I mean, yes, of course. I liked his solo scenes in the jail. So I thought it was very tender and sweet and endearing. But that's me.
Yes.
You know what I would have loved is if we knew about. I'm sure we did, but that the writers knew about this infatuation of Billy Flynn from Mark and made him like his prison buddy.
Oh, I tweeted that. I was like, hashtag cellmate.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh my god.
Did you imagine?
Fans would have got a kick out of it. They filmed and all of a sudden Mark is like, "What are you in for?"
I don't know if I can get my voice that low, but I could try. I would try it for Billy. You'd have to give me some lessons.
Actually, you know what? Actually, better scene. Like they open up the jail cell and you just see Mark like making everything nice and neat, and they go, "What are you in for? Come on in. I got it nice and tight."
I like that better. I can do that better. I'll take a lot less work on my part. So Chad got out of jail.
Yes, and he was so shocked. He was like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah.
When he told him, it was so funny. It was like, "Yeah, you got the best defense of all."
Well,
you're lawyer.
And I'm wondering though now that you just said that, if he's maybe going to be the one to reveal that he knew that a murder was going to happen and that Andre told him, so that Andre you know what I mean? Like it'll be clear that it really wasn't Aiden. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that maybe there is some redemption for...
I feel like he's going to remember why he was fighting Ben before that.
But he also still knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, we'll keep it in mind.
And then Ben kidnapped Abigail.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And she's going into labor, so she has labor pains.
Yeah. So it was the shortest pregnancy
exactly
on the planet.
I know. I'm like,
yeah.
Of course. But she's in pain, chained. That scene was so cute when he was trying to make love to her at first.
Oh,
creepy.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Well, wasn't she though trying to get him to do it because she was trying to get to the poker?
Well, he
turned into Teresa.
He was kissing her and all that, and then he said, "I'm gonna untie you so that we can make love." And I thought to myself, like, bitch, you don't know how I make love to you right now. You got me tied up for the wrong reasons.
He is crazy.
And so, and then she was like, okay, I'm going to go for it because I'm going to go for the poker. Right. And then he went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs again.
He sure did. He was like, you're lying, bitch.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, dang.
And stop going into town. Please go back to that apartment and pack up all the stuff that you need. If you need to pack up the whole apartment, if you need a U-Haul, please do what you need to do and stop going back into town.
First of all, how close is the mountains and the cabin to city?
A ferry wide away.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like that fast.
Now, just out of curiosity, because we talked about this a little bit before you got here.
Y'all talked about a lot of stuff. What you guys don't
know is that Tony lives the furthest away, so it takes him the longest to get here.
Look at you. We did talk about that.
You completely tried my entire life. You completely tried it.
Now I forgot what we were talking about. What was I going to just say?
What were you going to say?
No,
it was something about Ben, something about Chad.
What was I going to say?
You were saying it's always funny because I said I have friends who always talk about how they live the closest, like 5 minutes away. And they're
not that. What was I going to talk about with the days thing?
I don't know.
I was going to say now.
I was talking about the distance.
Distance of what?
The distance between. The last thing we were talking about was.
Did you fall for? Thank you. Did you fall for the dream sequence?
I did.
Oh yeah, okay, you did.
Well, here's what I was telling him. What I did was, as soon as it started, I went, "Okay, it's a dream." But then I got so caught up in it, I was like, "Oh my God, it's not a dream!" And then I was like, "Oh, they got me."
No, they completely got me because I was like this, like she was asleep, and then I saw like the little shadow. I was like, "Look at Billy Flynn's shadow. You can tell because of that hair." And all that. And no, Billy Flynn, don't even get excited about the fact that I knew your silhouette. I'm gonna shut that down right now. So then he came in, and I wanted to be like, first of all, like the way he came in, like he knew that Ben was already asleep. He was like, shh. And I thought, like, get her out. Like, stop talking. Like, get her out. You're going to get caught. And then, like, the fight. And I'm just typing away, like, ooh, they fought. And then she said, and I was like, mother.
delete. Dream. Yeah, totally. I got suckered.
I
totally got suckered.
Suckers.
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
Yeah. So that happened. Listen, I don't know how there's a lot that I don't. Kate Mancy and Robert Scott Wilson are doing a phenomenal job with their scenes. I
actually thought. Rob really stepped. Like I was quite impressed by the end of the week.
I can better crazy.
Yeah, but it's just this story. It may be a little too crazy for me. You know what I mean? Like I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, you got this pregnant girl locked up. She's having contractions. You're not believing anything that she's saying. Yeah. And like, I'm just waiting. Like, you gonna have to unbutton these pants and get that baby out at some point.
Is this maybe the same place? I mean, obviously not the same part of it, but is it where she took Chad?
No,
when she would that was the fish.
That was the
Kiriakis.
Yeah, that was Kiriakis. Because online here on the chat room, we're having this discussion right now about is this the Horton cabin? As the historian, my estimation was the Horton cabin opened from the
other side. Oh, completely. Yeah,
they came in that like when Sammy had a baby and all the twins. It opened from the other side.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think this is the Horton cabin.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it is.
I really don't think it is. I don't think that they've even said where they are.
Yeah, no, they haven't said anything. Just got some cabin.
I mean, it might just be a KOA campground.
I'm so done with you.
So all I'm gonna say about this story, what's funny to me is it's I'm so sometimes I like to I know I'm just gonna keep going. Sometimes I like to have a little bit of because Abby's not completely innocent. in this whole thing. Yes,
She's not.
She shouldn't be a kidnapper and all that stuff. But she was a little whore for many things.
Slut.
She's a little slut. So it's almost like a little retribution for her too for going through this because she's in love with Chad.
But I mean, does she deserve to be tied up and pregnant?
Man, not that, but it's kind of like
but I did get what I want though.
What you get?
I finally got the confession that Ben knew that they had made love because he had followed her, and I was just like, well, geez, Ben, if you had told her that, I don't know, months ago, that you wouldn't have went Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Or Fruity for Fruity Pebbles?
Yes, that's true.
Because now it's just beyond. Now it's beyond Cocoa Puffs. Now it's beyond like letting the Cocoa Puffs sit there.
Willis said they did say it was the Horton Cabin.
They said it. I don't remember. They said it online because I remember them saying it
on the show. Well, anyway.
Well, I mean, they were zhuzhing everything up. Maybe they zhuzhed up the cabin and got a little remodel.
And change
do you think they're going to change Hope's house?
They probably are. They have to.
And I will say this, I did notice this. When they threw him into that cabinet thing. And then later when we saw it and he had like a board on the front, I was like, It got way more destroyed than that, than just the front door. Yeah, it was, and they would have gotten rid of the rug.
Yeah.
They don't do that for people that kind of... They don't do that. If you watch any crime TV, they don't leave that stuff in there when the person comes back.
How do you know?
Half the time, they don't even let them go back into the place for a while.
Well, I thought she went back too fast, too.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's just getting the stuff
storyline going?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was
I don't think that was a legitimate, time frame. I think that was supposed to be I would have
said, no, thank you. Can somebody buy me a new house, please? Thanks. But back, so Chad tried to tell. Okay, so Abigail called Chad because Chad
told her to.
Well, Chad went over to their apartment and saw Ben collecting most stuff
and no phone.
Who?
And Chad saw there was no house phone. One of the cordless phones. He noticed it, and he had a flashback to him saying the last time, "I'm going to call the police on you." And Ben picks up a phone. They had a flashback on that, and he noticed there was no phone there, so he knew something was up.
Okay,
he did.
So,
I got that one. He did.
So
I
after I did too.
Yeah.
So after that little interaction, Ben
Billy
makes
smiled.
Ben makes Abigail call Chad.
Yes.
And I loved when Chad was like, "Okay, if there's something wrong with you, you end this conversation now." She was like, "Okay, goodbye, Chad." And I was like, "Okay, you got the signal. Pew, let's go." And so,
why didn't he tell that to Rafe and Jennifer then? Like, wouldn't you start? Isn't that what you lead with? I suspect something's up.
Well,
say she called me. I said if something's up, end the conversation right now, and she did.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think at some point he did say something like that, but it's Salem PD.
He never said that.
I think he did.
I don't think he said
James. Did he not tell
guys
Rafe,
in the chat room?
Did he not
Please
tell Rafe?
Tell me Mark's right.
It was in the police department. He was going on, and I could have sworn he told Rafe that there was a phone call. He said, "If you're in danger, say goodbye right now." And Rafe was just like, "Well, maybe he didn't want to talk to you."
I think he did say it in the station.
Thank you, James Lott Jr.
I will be rewatching those scenes, and I will have the real answer.
Look at that. Heather said he told Rafe that. Let's see.
Exactly.
He did tell Rafe about halfway through their combo. Thank you, Diane. Ethel, he did tell Rafe. Thank you. Thank you to Deidre. He did tell it. Thank you. But he didn't.
I will go back.
But he didn't tell Jen. He didn't tell Jen. That was kind of weird.
Thank you, Claudio. Chad did tell Rafe. Thank you.
Hashtag
Mark's wrong. That's what I need. Thank you, because I take notes and I watch.
But did he say it to Jennifer?
Carolyn says Rafe said he should have led with it.
I did, yes.
Well, Rafe said he should have led with it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did say that. He did say that.
Yeah, but he didn't tell Jen.
Like I said, you're burying the lead.
Burying the lead.
What? Guess what? You're still hashtag.
I'm just saying, like, if I get that, I'm going to go to the police and I'm going to say, hey, you need to know something.
Yes, that's true.
You can set it up, but then you go, and I told her this is why you need to see them. Not walk in and go, I think you need to see her. No, I think something's wrong. No, I need something's wrong. And spend 3 hours saying something's wrong and then go, Yeah, because I told her this and she did this.
Okay.
Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that 3 hours ago?
Congratulations, you were still wrong earlier, and I'm still right. Thank you. So,
But you didn't say to Jennifer.
I'm going to turn this car around. You guys don't stop it.
but we going to McDonald's to get my Happy Meal
Right,
first.
exactly.
Okay, so then that happened, and now Chad's just like, he's going to take matters into his own hands.
Basically.
Yeah. So there's that.
Which
There's that storyline.
Can and will do.
So we talked about Bo already. So okay,
Yeah.
it goes right to tidbits. So the first one was Sammy returns, all bubbly-eyed, bushy-tailed, and she looks good these days. She looks great.
Yeah.
Comes in and talks to Marlene and John first, and explains that EJ's still alive. She went to Switzerland, and they showed John. I guess this photo was kind of, you couldn't really tell it's happening, but she went to the safe deposit box and found some stuff, all on Stefano, all his accounts. I mean, all this stuff. I was like, oh, okay,
Something that can take them
down. Exactly, whatever that is, right? And then she's like, I'm going to go talk to my daddy, to Roman, to see if he can help me with some stuff, because John was like, and Marlene's like, don't. So they both were kind of like, stop it, girl. They were looking at her like, you're a little crazy. Right. But they both know Sammy. I love when John says Samantha. He always says Samantha. And like, just to calm down. We know you're grieving and all this stuff, but you're kind of crazy. But I almost feel like people in Salem shouldn't think that's kind of crazy.
No. Oh, well, no.
Oh, John, Marlene and Angela, you both came back from the dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody's came back from the dead.
Yeah.
That's why, you know what? If I lived in Salem, I would sit at a funeral like this.
Right. I'll see you again in 2 years or 10 years. One or two.
Prove it. I was sitting in the back going, prove it.
Prove it. They're dead.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Was there a Demara around?
Totally.
They gonna come back. That's how I would sit.
Yeah, exactly.
Or can you imagine if like people were like, I'm not going to that funeral. He's going to be back.
He's going to be back soon.
I'm not going to mourn.
Yes.
But also, well, I think you just touched on this. Sammy was showing them all the evidence that she had, and he put the laptop down and was just like,
yeah, that's not
enough to go on. Yeah.
Like, well, this is why nothing gets done in the ISA or Salem PD, because you just go, there's like SVU, they would blow it up. Oh, there's a patch on the sleeve. Blow it up. Clean it up. Oh, it's a dry cleaners. Let's go there. Yeah. Like, not Salem. No.
Well,
can't find anything.
It's okay. John has nothing to worry about with the ISA because he got fired.
Okay. Don't. Oh my God, with this. This whole thing is ridiculous.
That he got fired?
Yeah.
Just the whole. Not even that he got fired. That why did this even happen? Why was there an argument about it? You didn't end up doing anything,
right? And
now you're fired, and now
it's kind of weird.
It's just completely asinine, to use your favorite word.
I love that word.
It's kind of weird. So Sammy runs off. She meets up. She sees a text. We're like, ooh. Yeah, but this is the father from the priest or whatever who has the family, has the Bible.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what happened?
She goes to Beatty Pride.
I fell asleep. During an episode. So this might have been.
Oh boy.
And she meets up with the priest who had married them, of course.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, she had and has listed everybody.
Father Luke.
Your Father Luke. Thank you. I can think of his name. He had listed, and the book was listed at a passage.
Mm-hmm. Did you write down the passage?
I think I did.
Which index card is it on?
Number 3.
Super organizer.
That's right.
Look at mine.
And I have all my cards.
Stars and pizza roll stains as well. Hold on, Mark's notebook.
Yes. So it was a beautiful family Bible. I'll keep it moving. It had recorded the marriage to EJ, the birth of all their children together. They were very clear about that. So it wasn't about Allie, wasn't there anything. So it was their children or Will. And the scripture was highlighted, I will see you again.
Mm-hmm. And we all know EJ wasn't religious.
No.
Right.
So she asked him to hold on to the Bible until further notice.
Yeah. And then right when she got outside, was it when she got outside that the phone worked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And then
there she's off. But Andre is hot on her tail.
That's right.
Andre.
Bitch is back, he said last week. Andre. And he kidnapped her.
Yeah.
That's how I did it with her. So she was off for a minute. So
man, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she got kidnapped. She grabbed her. She's like screaming, like, no! And that was it for that one.
So it would have made more sense if it was an art book.
Oh, it was an art book. He wasn't art. He wasn't art.
And that was then she was studying art.
With Abigail.
We're done with that one.
Yeah, that's all we have.
Really quick, because we're about to start running out of time. Steve, Kayla, Joey.
Mystery notes.
And the note. So there's this note that that Steve has received, and he explains to Kayla that it has something to do with before Africa.
Because remember, while they were in Africa, also it's while they were in Africa. The big fight the whole week was she was getting pissed.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us in Africa? Why did you just leave us?
Yeah.
We could have worked as a team, so they could bring them together, obviously.
Yeah.
We could work as a team, we could have worked together, blah, blah. And so that was the whole thing. So I think it was either before or during Africa this happened, he claims, and he said he would have came back here to Salem if he thought it wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe.
He thought it was taken care of, apparently.
Yeah. Nope. Guess what? It's not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think after this weekend, and fans will be able to see maybe who the note is coming from.
Yes.
We will be playing that preview later during predictions.
Yes.
The one that you missed. So there's that.
There's that.
Moving on.
And then Teresa and Brady are now moving in a much more loving direction.
Much to Victor's chagrin.
Well, first of all, Teresa is.
Well,
Brady is not. No.
He did say he wanted to give it a chance.
Towards the end.
Yeah, and he kissed her.
Yes, but he's still very resistant. Listen, Brady,
Yeah.
just go for. Just don't think. Just feel.
That's right.
Just feel.
But I think that he is. I think he's just being cautious.
He's been defending her and everybody.
Yeah.
He's defending everybody.
He's fallen in love with her. We all knew
Victor's
that.
Creating an ultimatum, it looks
did.
like, or was that in the?
No, Victor pretty much said, "Yeah, get out
Now.
Oh, to Teresa,
To
but he hasn't
yeah.
said anything to Brady.
No.
Yet. That's
Yeah.
the other
That's
thing.
the opposite.
Okay, yeah.
No, but he told Teresa it's time for her to go. He said that the trash stinks after a while. They had a whole speech about that, and then he was like, "You need to go."
Oh, speaking of which, I think fans make sure you take a look this week because I think I might be popping up in Salem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spot Tony
In the background, where I usually am.
shopping or talking to somebody.
Shopping or buying yogurt.
Yeah. So there was
next?
that, and then Gabby and Kate offered Gabby a modeling contract.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but she's like, "Listen, I'm trying to stay low key."
Yeah, she was. She was like, "Oh, I
She's like, I don't know about that."
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think that was great, and then
the new doctor came to town.
finally the Australian who won.
Finn Thompson.
Yeah.
he came in. But I have to say, I was watching him, and I was thinking of Paul Telfer. Just like even his look a little bit. He was
like a thinner, bushier
and blonder a little bit. But he came in instant chemistry with Nicole when they both tried instant chemistry.
Yeah.
But I love that there was that moment where he hit on Nicole.
Yeah.
And then he was like. And then she was like, I'm smoking for her. And then he's like, it's to Daniel. And he's like, oh, here we go again. And I'm like,
oh, I know. I love
so you
that
guys
they did that.
have going around and around.
Well, they did talk. I like their kind of bro attitude. They were talking like, it's like, did you hit on my? He was like, did you hit on my girl? How long does it take you to hit on my girl? And he goes, well, I know she's taken. And he's like, what about you? You're old. He goes, well, I'm kind of settling down. So they have like this bro kind of thing, and they kind of know they have their womanizing ways. So, but be interested to see. I'd be interested to see what he does. I mean, I was gonna have a good Aussie doctor somewhere in Salem. Why not?
Another man for somebody to.
It just means we're going to see more of Daniel.
Or maybe more Nicole, maybe.
I mean, I'm thrilled with that.
Yeah, I know you like that one. So.
Oh boy. Well, that has been your week of days, and now it's time for our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is the official 3 Snaps Award. Now, I have given the 3 Snaps Award to this person for the same reason, but of course, I cannot get enough of it. I am going to give it to no other than
Billy Flynn.
Teresa Donovan.
Because
sometimes when things are going your way, you got to pick up your baby toys and do a little happy dance.
That was hilarious.
Until somebody shuts you down and tell you to get them out your house.
That was hilarious.
I felt good because, she always has a little happy, joy dance. Yeah. And this is now the second one. So Teresa Donovan, Jen Lilly, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Awards.
Congrats, Jen.
And she was so happy when she hugged Maggie.
I missed. Did she slip him a 20 to give her?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Oh, speaking of, first of all, don't be telling Maggie that you was laid up in bed with Brady. Y'all ain't that kind of girlfriends. You can't be telling her that.
What happened?
Remember, there was that scene when Teresa was sitting with Maggie.
Yeah, she was.
And Maggie was like, okay.
And she just like, okay.
And she kind of kept going. I was like, you can't be telling Maggie that.
That was funny. She did say that.
You can't be telling Maggie.
I thought you were saying. I was like, when did we tell Maggie that?
But no, she did say that. And Maggie's like, okay, that's enough. She's like, that's good.
Yeah, no, we're not trying to do that. All right, and now it's time to find out
who's.
Look! Who's related, James Lott Jr.?
We need you to record.
We do. I was thinking that the other day.
Yeah,
like, we totally need to get recordings
those.
of all these now.
Okay, kids. So I decided, in honor of the 50th anniversary, of course, and everything, that the Martin house. They keep mentioning the Martins.
Yeah.
Well, look who's related. Julie is related to the Martins, so it makes sense that she was kind of in there.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Quick, brief history. So, up in the picture we're going to show you is Julie and David Martin and their son, David Jr. So here's the deal. So Julie, it was a big storyline back in the 60s and 70s between Julie, David, and Susan Martin. And it was crazy talk. When we get to the whole thing in there, but it was crazy talk. She had a baby with David, but Tom Horton, her grandfather, made her give it up for adoption to Scott and Janet Banning. And then after that, Janet died, and then Julie married Scott to be close to her son, little David Banning Jr. He was going by Banning at this point. You know, she named it after the father, David Martin. And the guy up there, Greg Marks, who was on the show for a while, he went on to fame on Asteroid Turns as Tom, and he has other stuff he's done. And I think he was on Santa Barbara for a minute, too. I can't remember.
Oh, what, really?
Yeah, I think he was. I can't remember. I think he was. But anyway, so they had a kid, and then later on, he got involved with a girl named Trish Clayton, and they had a kid, Scotty Banning, played by Rick Hurst, who went on to other famous Alan Michael on Guiding Light. He's playing Rick on General Hospital right now. So there's a whole Martin family. Even though her last name is Banning, she's actually related to them as an ex-Martin, and her kids are actually blood-related Martins.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I wonder if that's who John's going to be.
I mean, I was wondering the same thing. That's why I kind of did this too. I'm thinking the same thing. They might be a Martin. There's something going on.
I really think that he's going to be a Martin because of the Martin.
They wouldn't have restored that whole house.
Exactly.
But John's about to move into the house.
I think so.
Yeah.
And as I said, and so for Julie to be there and the whole thing, it actually kind of made sense. But there's a whole long history of that. And, and so that's who's related.
There you go. And now, everyone, it's time for Mark's Quote of the Week.
You gotta do it.
Well, I'm going to keep it simple again. I'm doing my quote of the week this week to the old writers.
Okay.
Because I don't have squat for you this week because nothing was that hysterical anymore. I just feel like I just remember writing down 5 or 6 things all week.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, oh my God, I gotta find something. I gotta find something. So my quote of the week goes to the old writers for giving me lots of quotes.
Well, let's hope that next week you will have something.
I know. I had one that was kind of, and I was like, no, I don't
not
feel
feeling
it.
Then
And
if
most
you're
of
not
them
feeling
I
it,
felt,
then don't
and
say
I was
it.
like, okay, but yeah, not this time.
Well, Mark, keeping things going, who is our fan of the week?
Oh, fan of the week this week, we decided that we wanted to give to Issa in France.
Yeah,
just kind of.
I wish we had our mugs. That
I thought I said it, and actually, right when you rang the bell, I had just said, "Oh, we should have Tony bring his mug."
And then I went,
the bell rang.
You literally did it.
And we didn't want you to have to drive all the way back home either.
It's actually in my car.
The mug?
Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
We'll go get it. We'll talk about it.
I keep a lot of stuff.
No. Yeah, so we thought just in honor of everything that's been going on in Paris this week, we'd give it to our number one Paris girl, Issa.
Because she is a fan.
And she's been, like you said, she's done so much for us and sent us the mugs and everything like that. And we just decided that we would give Issa the fan of the week.
And hashtag prayers to Paris.
Yes, exactly. Our hearts are out
hope
for
that
them.
everything is okay.
But she is one of our biggest fans.
Yeah.
So she deserves it.
And while we're doing prayers, we should do a quick one for Nathaniel
Marston, yes, who did actually pass away at age 40. He was on Life to Live, and he was on a couple other shows, and it was a tragic accident, and just it's really sad all around for the soap community.
Yeah, so prayers to him and his family.
His family, his mom, everybody, they're having a hard time with it, so yes.
Okay, and so now that we're not going to be Debbie Downers.
No,
we're going to pick this back up.
Pick it up.
We're going to pick it up with some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
So listen, so this week we just decided we are going to tell you guys about our fun time at Day of Days. Yesterday we spent all day at Universal City Walk.
All day.
And pretty soon we're going to have some interviews posted on AfterBuzz TV, but we wanted you guys to take a look at these pictures that we had. And Zach, our wonderful engineer who's in the booth, shout out to Zach.
Go Zach.
You can go ahead and just make that a slideshow and we're just going to talk about it. So here we have James Lott Jr. Interviewing the very lovely and beautiful Lauren Coslow, who's been with us before, and Galen Gehring.
Yes.
And I don't how. First of all, shout out to all the fans as we were walking.
Oh my God.
It's so weird for us. We were walking in, and people were always just like, "Hey, oh my God, it's you guys!
Tony
we
Moore,
love
Martin
you."
Freeman.
Yeah.
Oh my God! They're like, you guys are Edition Days guys. You guys made us feel like celebrities.
Yeah, so that was great.
sweet.
So
That's
shout
very
out
sweet.
to you guys
We
for that.
appreciate
And if you guys did, I felt bad because I think I took a picture with Sean Brady.
Sean Brady, the real Sean Brady.
But I know a lot of people took pictures with us. If you would post them on our Facebook or on Twitter or something, tag us in them.
Edition Days.
I would love to see some of them
Me
too,
too,
because
me too.
I unfortunately didn't get a lot.
I know a few of you have done it already, but if you have any more, please share with us.
Yeah.
So there's so many pictures that we have, and we're going to show you a few of them as we continue to talk. Zach, you can just click away. There you go. There's Mary Beth Evans and Stephen Nichols, which was a lot of fun.
They were great. Last interview of the day.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Which was it was a long day.
You
By
have
the
to
way,
send me that because I don't think I have a picture.
Oh yeah,
because they had to run out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll make sure I send you that. You can keep clicking, Zach. Keep clicking. We'll talk about the ones we want
my God,
to.
Judy Evans. Hey, Martinez!
Oh, first of all, you lost your marbles when A. Martinez came around.
Martinez, he was so amazing, and he did say he would come on AfterBuzz and stuff and join us. He said it'd sound like so, and Billy is not sleeping in these pictures. He's imitating Teo. He's doing an impersonation of Andre.
Can I just say that Teo has to be like the funniest person ever?
I think I said to you, I can't wait to watch it back because it's all a blur to me.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even remember how we were just laughing. He was talking to people off camera.
Yeah.
It was hysterical. Oh, my moment with Mr. Datello was such a sweetheart.
We really had understanding. We had the best time with the interviews. These are just some of the pictures. We posted some already. You'll see more, but
and Ari, she did say, and I'm going to say this on air because I want people to know that she said this to me as she was walking away. She said, "I want you to know that was the most fun interview I've done all day."
Good.
So that made me feel good as a host.
But a lot of people said that when they came up to our little section that
we were the best.
We had a good
more
time.
enthusiasm and fun.
Casey, do we want to mention Casey Monday?
Yeah. Oh, if you guys are in the LA area, Casey Moss and his band Eyes of One will be playing at Whiskey A Go Go. I think we're gonna go. We're gonna make a quick appearance.
And that's why I threw on my They did the whole interview in sunglasses.
So I forgot mine. So
I'm taking my sunglasses on for this picture then.
Exactly. So keep going, Zach.
Keep going.
This was a little behind the scenes. This was our setup.
We're setting up.
Our little setup there. Yeah. And then
I wasn't even drunk yet.
There's James with
picture.
Suzanne Rogers and Eric
Martzoff. Suzanne Rogers was so giddy and fun and flirty, and I had and Eric, of course, is hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a joy for me to be able to.
Yeah.
And is there any more?
Yep, there's more.
Oh, we have more?
There's our son and our
we made it to Salem.
Made it to Salem.
The Divas, the Charlie's Angels, of AfterBuzz.
James Reynolds was so nice.
So nice. We have to go see a show at his theater.
At Fremont Center Theater.
Fremont Center Theater, yeah.
And then
that was my biggest honor. I call it hashtag Hope Adjacent. So I actually asked him a question about Chris Alfonso, so you have to see that we posted.
I did say to him in person, his eyes are so blue, and I said, "Oh my God, you're going to give Billy Flynn a run for his money with those eyes," and he just started laughing.
Yeah. And then of course,
there it is.
It happened, y'all. The moment happened. I got to speak to Aloma Wright, who plays Maxine. Yes, and here's the fun thing is that. Originally, we were supposed to talk to her that morning, and we didn't get a chance to talk to her that afternoon. But I went and I introduced myself to her, and I said, "Hi, Aloma. I'm sorry, we've been tweeting back and forth." And before I could get it out, she was like, "You're my son," and I was like, "Yes!" So she was so sweet and so nice, and I can't wait for you guys to see all of the interviews that we have. And now, ladies and gentlemen, there was a wonderful preview that was shown at Day of Days to give you a bit of what's about to happen, and these are your predictions.
Yeah, predictions.
So we're gonna roll this clip so that you guys can.
And now your AfterBuzz TV.
Well, I don't even know if this can be a prediction.
It's actually what's going to happen.
Because this is what's going to happen. So we're going to show you, and then we're going to talk about it. So Zach, roll that beautiful
bean footage.
Bean footage.
Years of days, daytime's most cherished couple.
We won't see it.
Back together.
I can handle anything as long as I know you love love you, Brady.
But can she handle this?
I have a tumor. It's in my brain.
And a family gives thanks
I'm so grateful for all of you.
in difficult times.
I forgave you once for cheating on me. I think I would be an idiot if I did that again.
It's over. Sean and I are getting a divorce.
Setup
I didn't do this.
If you did,
Oh, there it is.
who did?
brings exes back together while their worst enemy
Your plan is totally working.
returns.
Perfect.
Then, has Sammy finally defeated the Damaras at their own game?
I want Samantha Brady found.
And they will never see it coming.
And a big ultimatum
Either you choose the family in Titan, or you can take Teresa.
could drive him into the arms of the woman he's come to love. And it wouldn't be days without big drama. And just when you think it couldn't get worse,
You want to be with Chad, so now you can be. Forever and ever.
Oh.
it does. Days of Our Lives, celebrating 50 years of NBC.
You guys, oh my God. like when this played, I think everyone's mouths dropped.
It was quiet.
It was super quiet.
Outside.
And first of all, shout out to Martha Madison, who will be back as Belle. But then it was like, Sean and I are getting a divorce. And then she cheated again. I was like,
everybody dropped on that one.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it's so much. And then Ava coming back and in cahoots with Joey.
Never saw that coming.
Yeah.
Never saw that coming.
And
Crazy Ben.
Okay.
Batty Ben.
I said, what did I text you guys after I watched it when you sent it to me because I had to leave. And I was like, he is so lucky I did not see this before I met him. I would have been like, not Billy.
Yeah, so there's a lot of days to come.
Oh, look, everyone's like, OMG, drama, OMG.
Yeah, so there's a lot. So you guys make sure you stay tuned.
Chubby is on fire.
Chubby is on fire.
Days of Our Lives is about to get crazy. Oh, and I will say, when he was holding that baby, I was like, what month is this for her?
Yeah.
I said it's the quickest pregnancy in the world.
Ever. Don't need no doctor, don't need no nurse.
Yeah.
She had the baby, and now about to be set on fire.
I was going to say, I actually have assisted in a childbirth.
Yes.
And I'm interested to see how this plays out because I've been there and I had the scars on my hand from my friend nails. So this will be interesting to see how this unfolds.
Very interesting. Well, Days fans, make sure you stay tuned. But that has been it. Thank you guys for joining in. Before we head out, hey Mark, tell them where they can find you.
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE, or on Facebook /the Mark J. Freeman.
And you can find me on Twitter at Black Hope LA. That's BLAKHOPELA. Keep laughing because you guys my Black Hope. And you can also find me on Facebook at James Law Jr.
Oh, and can I also just again remind everybody that on November 30th at noon, I will be interviewing 90s pop sensation Carney Wilson from Wilson Phillips.
Do you have the results of your poll?
It's a 24-hour poll.
That's 24-hour poll. So you have to post it. Post it on
but you can look on my Lorraine Love feed and you can see it going up and down and stuff.
Well, make sure you post the final results on Edition Days.
Absolutely will.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounger with Tony or my website loungerwithtony.com. And I also need your help, fans. I want everyone to tweet Christian Alfonso along with James Lotz Jr.'s Twitter name and say, please have him tell you how he created his Twitter name. She has got to hear that story, so I need you guys to help me out with that.
I'll tell you right now, Millie is at 56% and Marley is at 44%.
Oh, look at that.
That's where we're at right now.
Very tight. Well, make sure you guys keep voting, and we will see you guys next Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But don't go anywhere because the GH Report is right after this. Thanks for tuning in to Dishin' Days.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.